Hi there traders, this is Steve Miley, the market chartist for FX Explained and our regular weekly MacroWatch update for the week commencing the 11th October 2021. Equities rebound as risk-on theme restarts, oil surges to $80. So let's kick off by looking at those macroeconomic and geopolitical developments that we've seen over the past week going into the beginning of October. So first of all, we've had positive soundings on the US debt ceiling talks have helped riskier assets in early October. This has meant that the risk-off theme that struck global financial markets in September has started to reverse back to a risk-on theme, despite the extension to higher yields across global bond markets, particularly led by the US. Global stock indices have rebounded, technically looking far less vulnerable than they were a week ago. OPEC Plus did meet on Monday but failed to deliver production boosts. And then this in turn led to oil pushing even higher, touching $80 on Friday, its highest level since 2014. Friday's US jobs report was worse than expected, although past data was revised higher. But overall, this had little impact on financial markets, though US yields did move higher. So now let's take a look at those global financial market developments of the past week ending the 8th of October 2021. Well, equities starting to rebound, and here the Dow returning to the upside, pushing higher and starting to resume a more bullish tone. US yields, though, continued their surge higher, so equity markets managing to recover despite the higher yield moves that we saw through September, which actually saw equity markets wobble, yields pushing up and touching 1.62% on the US 10-year yield on Friday. The dollar index stays firm, the US dollar continuing its more positive tone that we've seen since May and particularly through September as US yields have moved higher. We did get a dip lower in the dollar early last week, but saw a solid rebound. And the dollar particularly strong against the Japanese yen. Dollar yen pushing up in here, breaking up through a peak that we saw from Q1 2020 to its highest level since April 2019. Still a very bullish tone for the US dollar with that higher yield move, and the Japanese yen suffering with the higher oil price. Euro remains vulnerable, pushing to a new bear market move low in here, its lowest level since July of last year, July 2020. And the pound did manage to bounce in here, but overall still a negative tone, still suffering from the losses that were inflicted through September versus the dollar. Gold did try to rebound on Friday. We did see a spike higher, but it was a bullish failure in here and still looks more negative, still under negative pressures from the sell-off that we saw in September. And oil, as we've said, continues its march higher, having hit that highest level since 2014, up punching to $80 in here for the light crude oil future on Friday. And commodity prices in here, erratic but sideways in here, typified by copper, although energy prices remain very elevated. Now let's take a look at the week ahead commencing the 11th October 2021. Well, first of all, we're going to still monitor congressional discussions regarding raising the federal debt limit. And on the central bank side, we have no central bank meetings or decisions of note. However, we do have the FOMC meeting minutes released on Wednesday. We also have US earnings kicking in this week, with the US really from Wednesday with the financial sector. And we get this week from Wednesday through Friday, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Citigroup and Goldman Sachs. So on the data front, we have no real significant data of note on Monday, but it is the Canadian Thanksgiving holiday. Tuesday brings the UK employment report and German ZEW survey. Wednesday we get Chinese trade data, UK GDP, manufacturing and industrial production, plus German and US CPI, and we get those FOMC meeting minutes released Wednesday. Thursday brings the Australian employment report, and Chinese CPI and US PPI. And finally on Friday we get Chinese retail sales and US retail sales. Now I'm going to urge you all to hit that like button if you like what you're seeing in here, and also follow us on our YouTube channel if you not already are. And as ever, I'm going to wish you a great trading week. So traders, don't forget to catch us on the next FX Explained Macro Watch and all the great content on fxexplained.co.uk.